start? Well, back to racing. It's pretty exciting to be heading overseas next few weeks to be racing at the World Championships and the Euro Tour. I haven't been able to race like most athletes since 2019. My last event was in Paris. I was lucky to win that race. It was a good way to end the season, and I had a very good year in 2019, but really excited to be back on the road. I'll be heading to Prague, I'll be heading to Denmark, I'll be doing the ICF World Championships in Hungary, and then heading down to Montenegro for my last sort of European leg. So very excited to see all those familiar faces that I've always seen out on the road, especially the top athletes. You sort of realise that you have a bit of a travelling family when you are racing, and you definitely miss that, being sort of disconnected for the last couple of years, being, I guess, locked down here in Australia. So it's going to be a fantastic thing. Like I've obviously been training, I'm fit and I'm ready to go. A little bit nervous to see where I'm at compared to the top athletes and the top tier that I'm really longing to compete against. I really learnt through COVID that I love to race against the best of the best. I love to race when everything's on the line, and I love to push myself to that little bit extra level that you can't really find anywhere else. So but getting back to racing is going to be fantastic, and I just can't wait. So I've been staying busy. 2020 was obviously a bit of a down year. Sort of had to evaluate where I was at with everything. Did a few different things I wouldn't normally do, tried a few different sports, and didn't really adhere to such a strict training program that I'm used to. But coming into 2021, I was definitely reinvigorated, re-energised and ready to go, and it's been a fantastic sort of process to go through as not an older athlete, but somebody who's sort of done a lot of racing for the last 10 years and got to have a bit of break after probably being a little bit burnt out in 2019. Despite winning a lot of things and being at the top of your game, it definitely does get exhausting travelling around so much. So in a way, it's been quite a good break and a good setback in a way, because it was a forced one. I don't know if I'd be at this point ready and I'm excited and ready to race like I am right now if I didn't have that time off. So it's really awesome to be able to get back on the road and be able to race again. I think I'll just be so excited to be on that start line again. That's what I'm really looking forward to. Regardless of the result, it's just going to be fantastic to be out there. This year in 2021, I've definitely been back racing a lot more, definitely in the local scene, just to get my mindset right and get back into that race zone that I hadn't been in for a while. Training a lot more. I had a few key races over east at the Foster Race Week, sponsored by Shaw and Partners, and obviously the IOP races here in WA, and obviously doing the Avon Descent recently as well. So definitely really setting myself up to race well, but it's definitely a bit nervous to be back out on the international scene racing the best of the best. Sponsors have been amazing to me over the COVID period. I've been lucky enough to keep all my sponsors that I had throughout 2019, and it's been incredible to see the support from someone like Starboard, Shaw and Partners, BMG Blades, Vycobi, Cyborg, Boost, Fen, Ocean Paddler, and all the rest of the sponsors that support me. There's just so many. Just been really fortunate to be able to have that support, be able to continue what I love to do, and now have a really good platform to springboard off again. Like any athlete, a support network is extremely important. And I think during COVID, I think a lot of athletes went through that retirement phase of sport, and I think I went through that personally. It was definitely a hard period of time when you realised all the races were cancelled, you couldn't do your normal job, and you really had no idea what was going to come next. You thought your sponsors were going to leave you, you thought all your businesses were going to go underneath, like there was limited jobs, there was all this uncertainty, and I think that was a really good development and progress for me personally. I got to really evaluate where I was at, make some really good life decisions, and me and Christy are now, we're engaged, we're building a house, we've got a kid on the way, so everything is really moving forward, and we're really excited to push our sort of relationship to the next level. But also family's been amazing, like mum, dad, my brothers really support me through this phase, obviously Chrissy's family as well, and all my close friends and family, obviously really just thinking about each other through this time, and that mental health thing has been really important to me, and I think to everybody around the world during this pandemic. So really lean on the people around you. I couldn't advise that more, because that's really helped me through this really tough time. It's just going to be fantastic to be back on that start line, competing against the best of the best. That's something I really learnt during the pandemic, is I love the big stage. I love to compete against the best of the best, and that really brings the best out of me. And I always say that if I finish a race and I've done everything that I can to get my best result, that's what I love so much about racing, and I hope to get to do that. But at the end of the day, I will be just so stoked to be on the start line at all these international races and get back to that travelling family and get back to what I did for so long. So it's going to be great, and I can't wait to get back out onto the start line and competing.